Let me ask you this. When a company starts talking about having a BYOD strategy, are there some BYOD models that employees should be allowed to have and others that they should not be allowed to have?
Not every BYOD is created equal. You're going to have, first as a company, it's important for a company to understand what can they support, what can their IT department support. Are they capable of supporting all BYODs? No, that's a lot. So what you have to do as a company, you have to determine what can my IT department support without straining that IT department. What we have found is that once we have established that, if your IT department is knowledgeable enough to support maybe a certain version of Android, the iPhone, maybe the iPad, then you want to set some baselines based on that, and you want to build on that. You do not want to support devices you have not heard of, that your IT department do not have enough resources to support. So it's important that just because it's a function, it's a smartphone that your employees using, doesn't mean it's good enough to bring into your organization. There must be certain things, certain level of features that BYOD must meet in order for your company to be able to approve that.
Why is it imperative that you've got some type of management in place with this type of device?
Absolutely. It's very important to have a mobile device in place prior to deploying any devices into your corporation. By allowing devices into your corporation, you're giving them access to important, critical information that needs to be safe and secure. So these are assets that need to be managed. So how these assets are used, and again, what information they have access to.
Let me just ask you this. I guess part of the threshold question is, what kind of mobile devices are we talking about, incidentally?
We're talking any type of handheld computer. Now that can be a rugged device, okay, that historically has been in the enterprise, but now more so you're talking about BYOD devices, so the consumerization of IT, bringing in smartphones, tablets, other smart devices that individuals bring into the corporation that want access to all their corporate content within the enterprise.
You know, we're talking about bringing in a multiplicity of devices. My question is there any value in having a single management tool of all of these devices?
Absolutely. It's very important to leverage one pane of glass. One particular area to be able to manage and view all your assets across the enterprise. And a good reason for that is many enterprises have different business units, different agendas for each business unit. But the one thing that remains the same is the policies that need to be in place. They need to make sure that they have credentials to get access to the corporate network. So that holds true across all the different business units. So leveraging one tool set to be able to manage everything, regardless, it's still a mobile device, it's still a piece of equipment that's having access to your information to keep it consistent and secure.
Jay, let's talk about what differentiates barcode from RFID, the differences between the two systems.
Well, the differences are significant. Barcoding is a line of sight technology, typically used by individuals who are tracking systems. Most of the time it's slower. Again, you know, it's close range. You know, you're going to be scanning something, you're going to want to look at what you're scanning. RFID is a typically engineered solution that allows you to read much faster rates. Specifically, it can read longer distances, and also has a lot more capabilities of being able to be read without human interaction.
We've set up then the differences, technically, if you will, between the two. Let's talk about what differentiates the need for one system versus the other. What would they be?
RFID is interesting because it's typically a more durable solution, because a lot of times it's encased in like a plastic, so you can put it in embedded or injected or whatever Like they use it for dogs, to track dogs. You don't see it because it's underneath the skin. So it can take all the washing you would require. Barcoding, because it is line of sight, you need to keep it clean, and that makes it less durable. But RFID is a more expensive product, so if you're on an item-by-item basis, printing something is much easier than building a chip and the components that go into an RFID tag. So the solutions are required to understand that you have different ROI requirements, and if you have a closed-loop system, it can be done in RFID environments sometimes a lot more effectively.
Final question. Technology trends that you see gaining momentum in this area, what are they?
Again, I like to limit it to three. There's a number. The first one, and we've heard a lot about over the years, and that's RFID technology. In the transportation industry, we see most of it in closed-loop operations, meaning that there's some pallets or there's cases or something that I own that I want to keep track of. And that will continue to be a very valuable use of RFID. Another one is in yard management, to know when trucks are going in and out of a yard. The real key, I believe, to RFID is when we get to what I refer to as machine-to-machine, meaning that the information that is collected at the RFID level or at the case level or wherever we're collecting information, that it moves to the next location without human intervention. So a person doesn't have to barcode it. He doesn't have to image it. He doesn't have to say anything. All it does is automatically move. Now, obviously, we're going to need people to take care of the situations where the information doesn't flow correctly. But in that 99% opportunity where we can use RFID to have machines talk to each other to get the information visibility through the supply chain. The second solution I like to see, we're developing on, is data and voice convergence. There's a big opportunity for the need to take care, to have voice and data work together, not only in a cellular handheld device or a Wi-Fi, but through the PBX. Customers don't want to know that how they have connectivity. They don't care. All they know is they want to be able to have that ubiquitous connectivity. You never ask a customer, hey, how do you like this? How do I communicate? They don't want to know it. They just want to make sure it's there.
And number three?
Number three is GPS and locationing. We're all familiar with GPS, and it's come a long way, and it probably did a lot to change our industry, visibility-wise, customer information about where their product is, when they're receiving it, what they're receiving. But the next big leap in GPS or that type of locationing technology is knowing where products are when GPS is not available. Okay, so think about what that means. In a lot of locations, GPS is not available. We do have that when we're in cities where we have canyoning, where we really can't get GPS signals very, very well. But even that is not really what we're talking about here. What we're really talking about is being inside a building, being inside a mall, knowing that when I am in a mall, where am I in that mall? So if I am a delivery person and I am going to deliver a package to Abercrombie and I take it off my truck to deliver it, off my cart, and I'm really supposed to be delivering it at Victoria's Secret, the system will know that because of GPS. We're not there yet, but I see that as a future as we will be getting there.